Hi guys, this is Alex. This tutorial is for beginners and this tutorial is about IntelliJ Debugger tool. It's not a Java lessons or Java tutorials. It's just it's done with the Java example. So anyways, I have this little array example here. It's a string array, and then we'll be adding some elements to it, and we'll try to perform some action. And what I did when I was using this debugger, working with array, I found really useful because when you work with the debugger, it's kind of lets you to examine and look inside the array, and also kind of see the indexing and characters side by side, so you don't have to write any loops or codes, to find out which element is at which index. It's kind of showing it to you visually. So what you're gonna do is first of all you need to place your breakpoint first somewhere on the top, and then you click this little green debug breakpoints button, and so the program start running, and then after that the console gets open automatically, and then there is some main default method, looks like, which does not correspond to anything pretty much. It has nothing to do with this line number 9, which is highlighted. It was kind of a little bit confusing to me at first, and then I get used to it. So right now it's really not examining anything, uh, maybe pointing at the main method. So and well, to actually view and examine line number 9, you need to move this blue line down. So what you need to do, you need to kind of step into it on the language of IntelliJ Debugger. So you can step into it by clicking this little blue arrow down button right here, or you can use F7 key on the keyboard. So let's click the arrow first, and now when the blue line moved underneath over line number 9, and we actually start reading some information about this array list right here. So we can see there's a couple of places we can get this information from. We can see it on a console display. It says list, array list, and the size 0, because it's an empty list. All these elements are not added yet. The same information we can also get by pointing to this list size, gray out words, and then there is a little arrow down button. If we click on it, it will kind of produce a box and display the same information here. Also the same information we can get from arrow down on a blue line here. It kind of produces the same kind of box with the same information. So for us to actually start adding elements, we need to move this blue line down. We need to step into this line. So we can do it with the arrow down, as I already said, or if you prefer to look at the information on your screen, kind of next to your code, so you can even close the console. As long as you remember then to move down the button, the keyboard button is F7. So what we can do is we can start pressing this F7 button instead. See, when you push F7, now the size increased. Now 2 of these elements inside the list. It says size 2. We can get one more, F7, increase again, F7, increase again, F7, now we have 6, F7, now we have 7 elements, and now we have 7 elements, and the last elements, it hasn't been added yet because the blue line is on it. We haven't performed this action yet. We need to move this blue line down to a next line of code. It doesn't matter which one at this point because it's not going to be in effect. It's not going to be performed. All we need to do is just to clear this line 17. So once we do it, now we have all 8 elements in our list. Now a list is full of elements pretty much. So we can start examining our array list with all of these elements inside. So as I said, there's a couple ways to look inside the list. So we can click this arrow down button and we can see all these elements that has been added. Also, we can click on this arrow down button on the blue line and we can see the same information. Or we can kind of point and hover over this list word and it will also produce this kind of dialog box with the plus sign in it. And if we click the plus sign, it will give us the same box with the same information. So all these boxes are adjustable in size. We can, adjust them in the size. We can stretch them on the side. We can stretch them down. The only difference with this particular box that comes from here, from this little plus, is this box is actually movable, and that can be really useful. Later on, I'll show you why. When you have a longer list, we can stretch it down like this, all the way down, and see all the information. Because these boxes, they show you the same information, but they're not, they're stretchable, yes, but they're not movable. So they'll stay here, and that's, how far you can go with this box. Exactly the same as with this box, they kind of stationary. I mean, you can stretch them with the size, as I said, but you cannot move them up and down. And if your list is a longer list, you may use a little bit more space. So this particular box right here, I found useful for that purpose, because you can move it anywhere on your screen, or you can even move it to another screen. I have two screens, so I can even take it out to another screen. Okay, but the really cool stuff about all these boxes and all this information, I found the most useful pretty much information, that this box not only shows all your elements in the list, but it also shows corresponding indexes. So you see, like 0 is A, 1 is B, 2 is C, 3 is D. And that could be really useful. That was really useful for me. So you don't have to write for loops, all these loops, all this code just to find out which element is in which position. And it could be tricky sometimes, because you can have the same named elements in a array list, and like several of them with the same names. Then you can have a little maybe complications to find which one is which. So just like I have A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, like 2 A's, 2 B's, let's say, and this easy access to indexing it, and like visuality of it makes it really cool. So let's say I want to replace the second A with a different name, with a different object, with a with a second underscore A. So all I need to do is pretty much look at the box and see A, B, C, D, A. The second A is index 4, as easy as it is. So I have a code ready, list set, first parameter is indexed, second parameter is the object name I want to be, and all I have to do is just to click F7 to perform this function. And I can look back into the box, and what I see is A, B, C, D, and index number 4 is the second underscore A. That's exactly what I wanted to do. How cool it is. And let's say if I want to remove element, I can go a couple ways. I can list remove and then index name. But as I said, if I have several the same names in the list, by default it will just remove the first one. But how about the second or third or fourth? the same name element. Of course, the easy way to do it and more practical approach is to work with the index. So, and to know which index it's easy to kind of see. So you open up this box and you take a look, make sure that the second A is at index 4. That's all you need to know. And then you go list remove index 4, and let's perform this action. We'll press 7 F7. See, now this list is shrunk to 7 elements, and we can open up and expand. We can see that A, second A, whatever it was in here, is gone, and B, C, and D moved up and took these positions. So okay, and let's say if I want to add another element at index 4 with a different name, A dash second this time. So I can perform the action, look back in the box, and as I can see, the index 4 is A dash second. That's what we wanted to do, and I found it really cool for me and helpful, and especially even when you work with a little bit longer list, or even with strings like this. I'll give you an example of a string, because string is another primitive type. It's almost like the array of characters inside of a string. So, and also the spacing, they have their own indexing too, and you can really easily see it with this debugger tool. So let's go ahead and perform this line, and then we can inspect it. See, like in this situation, this particular box will actually be really useful, because if you try this box and then you can try to expand it. Let's see, if you try to kind of let's get close on this sensitive. Okay, well, try to expand it down, and this arrow, you don't have enough space, and that's possible. Exactly like in here, you will not have enough space either. So you can always use this box right here. You can expand it, can kind of drag it up, expand it down as much as you can. Yeah, let me catch it first, of course. Yeah. So let's go ahead in there, get this plus going. Let me see, I'll just will be more. It is sensitive, so it takes some practice. So I'll take it down, kind of expand it all the way down, and then you can get all the information you can see. And as you can see, there is a array of characters inside the string, pretty much. So it says 23 characters, 22 indexes, because they start with a 0, as we know it. And if you look at some of the indexes, they even have this little empty spaces. They also have their own index. So how cool it is. You can visually see everything. And as I said, it was really useful for me. Hopefully it will be useful for you. And thank you for watching.